To be able to place first out of NA East, and we still qualified in NA East being a very strong region to qualify in, it was astonishing. We were both screaming and yelling.
So me and Clix have been playing together. I met him in December, but we've only been playing for like, I'd say a month. And I remember Clix specifically saying, I don't think we're gonna qualify this week, but I think we got the next week in 2 weeks. When I said, nope, we're qualifying this week, and I guess my words were true.
And then when we were going to the Fortnite live stream and we heard we're second, I screamed as loud as I can. And like, now that I actually show people, like, I know how to do it, it's just completely impressive.
In the lobby, you went the wrong way.
A tough situation, taking the L there.
Won like 3 out of 5 games, so I knew we had the chemistry.
Seriously, it's an honor to qualify with Tyler first.
I was a little bit surprised because Arkham and I, like I said, just started doing 3 days ago. I mean, I guess it shows that individual skill can come out into a duo too, and we understand like how duo gameplay works and all that, so.
I knew of Falconer, I knew he was a good known player. We ended up doing really well, and I'm like, I want to see where this goes. So I kept on playing with him. We started getting our chem down, we started getting our end game rotations down, and we started taking off. And take everything seriously, and you will eventually get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after that short break to the NA East qualifier finals. I'm your host, Monster D-Face. We're back here, and we're going to be jumping back into the action. Doc Lupo and I just finished up an intense set of games. But with that, we got some new casters for you. We got the meme team coming out right now, which is Zeke and Golden Boy is going to be taking over some of our games here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good title to have, Monster.
Yeah, hey, Zeke said not to tell you about the name he came up with, and then just throw it at you and get your genuine reaction. That was the plan.
Well, I respect you for sticking with the plan. Zeke, you know, you're just way too excited, man. I get it, though. I'm excited, too, because we have some pretty good games up ahead of us. Man, it's like the conversation online is insane because typically it's like everyone's, you know, like, oh, yeah, this was good. Everyone is just latching on to every single moment in every single game. And good news for you is that we're going to be jumping into those matches right now. Let's go and have some fun in NA East. And the collective region, you've dubbed it NA West.
That's right, NA West.
Instead of just all North America, you just
it's
call
just
it
NA West. That's right, as a collective. Now, GB, I think we should just take a moment. All right, a lot of people have had great Sundays. Maybe they're just tuning in for the first time. Let's help get them up to speed. Guys, it's exactly as you've seen in the past. All right. Top 15, top 10, top 5, and victory are all those placement thresholds, with each elim being a point on the board. We're up in NA East, duos back for week 4, and it's finals day. So this is a big opportunity for a lot of these players looking to qualify and punch their ticket to the finals.
I want to take a moment to just observe that we saw Exhibit knock down Outcast. So I think that, maybe he didn't want a fish tank in his car. I don't know. But
I like where you were going with that. The moment you said it, I knew exactly.
It just saw it, and I was like, oh, what a time. So we got Cloak and Tfue here on screen right now, and they're trying to climb their way up, and it is a highly competitive NA East region. And look at the spread in the safe zone right now. We got here Cloak with a pretty good kit as well. I'm sure you'd like to trade that sniper out for a heavy, but you take what you get. And they're going to play this more control type game. This is something that they do quite a bit. They slow things down. And with the way that this zone is going to be moving, well, they're going to just try and see if they can patrol this before they need to make the moves and get into zone here. But nice shot. That was a 2-6-2.
That was a headshot. That was a...
Phil.
Oh, okay, I thought he was about to flick this guy's way. If you pop the
balloon play?
Come on, that's 1, 2, 3. This player's coming down. Glider redeploy. Anything?
Anything at all? I hope I'm sure that player had a glider redeploy. Never mind. Nope. It was Tyler 15? Okay.
Maybe Tyler 15 was thinking, look, this is such a ridiculous play that no one will see it coming. Like, they won't even fathom it. So he went for it. But Cloak says, listen, all right? We're Cloak and Tfue, all right? What are you doing? We're going to take that elimination away from you now.
That's quite an extensive conversation for two people who haven't exchanged words at all. But.
I mean, I like to have long conversations. I like to interact with people,
By the way, I got my boy Flossin up top, one of my favorite Fortnite players.
He really broke into the scene that one time. He was sitting in Fatal Field, your home away from home.
That's right.
In the cornfield, and waited and just one-pumped Punisher. I believe it was actually us casting, and we believed that he was the hero we needed and both deserved. So, Flossin, you will always forever be a golden boy in our hearts.
Yeah, okay, I like that. I've never really separated the two before, but I respect that. Well, look in here, you got Tfue and Cloak continuing to apply that pressure onto the players that go up into the sky. Think that they can rotate out, and look at the impulse nade being used there as well, forcing that player to just propel themselves over to the side. And the names in this one, you got Commandment in here, you got Air Cool as well, Tfue, Cloak, and we mentioned earlier that Flossin was up above. I saw some other names. I think I saw Chap as well as Poach. So some good players are going to be in this lobby, and this is exactly what you want. 22 duos remain. 38 players, though, are going to be in this game. And look at this, man. Oh, okay. Try and tear this down. I think it's still going to be connected.
Oh, my God. An RPG comes from over their shoulder. Tfue cracks Rogue Shark in his face, and now he's just going to keep on going because that siphon's going to come through. Any moment he's going to be okay. If I was him, I would try to get ahead of this, get a bandage. Unfortunately, not fast enough. It's okay. It's going to be all right. It's still kicking. But, man, it's quite a bit of storm damage there. His back is in and around the storm wall. Well, that is the way of the road, as you would say sometimes.
Yeah, indeed it is, my friend. And now we're going to be in that zone 7 here. It's going to be one of those far-moving zones. You got Poach, who's continuing to just patrol up above, manning the high ground. And if any players try to descend onto them, they will intend to make them pay. But we're not able to stop with the sheer volume of players that are still going to be left in this game. 20 total. You want to throw down some traps, maybe force some of those players not to just drop right on top of you. But Poach and Chap still hold this one down. Down low, you're going to have RBK's High Sky as well, looking to just stay in this game. And they're just, at this point in time, it is about just continuing to own the high ground, find the angles, and take advantage of whatever the small advantages that you can possibly obtain here.
And you know it's interesting, right? Because when we first tuned in this game, there's about 50 players and 27 duos. Look how quickly the lobby has already dwindled, all right? That's how chaotic this gets toward the end game, especially when we hop in toward the end. Few circles here from 4, 5, sometimes even 6. Now keep in mind, we only have 13 players, 9 duos, so we've already hit top 15, hit top 10. 5 is the next place in threshold. Great RPG coming out from Chap there. And someone dropped down!
Someone dropped down right in front of him. It's going to be Grove who went in for it, manages to knock down Chap. And then also in the action feed, you're going to see TSM's Commandment's going to be out of the game here, and the high ground goes over to Grove and Scientist as well. They're going to own all of this, so taking it over from the Liquid Boys, we're going to have 8 duos remaining in this lobby. Poach still going to be in this one, so he did sacrifice, or gave up, I shouldn't say sacrifice, gave up that high ground, forced out of that one, courtesy of Grove and Scientist. There's also going to be a player here just trying to mount the defense now, and Grove connecting with that blue Silence SMG. Anyone who tries to come outside is going to pay dearly with their presence in this lobby, and this is going to continue to look really good here for this duo. But down low, you're going to have B-Tish as well as Cryptic exhibit in this one too, and then Poach all the way down low. But as it currently stands, that duo advantage there is going to rest for Scientist and Grove. Grove looking around, seeing if he can pick up a few more eliminations as players go in to try and challenge. He's only going to have 2 elims right now, but 2 players are going to remain playing for the victory royale, looking to get themselves to 10 points. But for these other players, it's about trying to outlive the duo that remains, because the numbers are not going to be on their side. And Grove and Mad Scientists know this, and they're going to play this to their advantage and not strike until they absolutely need to. It seems like Grove is going to be the one that drops down and engages in the fight. Cryptic's gonna go low, and that's a victory royale for Grove and Scientist.
Absolutely clinical, textbook win there coming out from them. They had the numbers like you talked about, and then it was all about executing. You saw them push Poach down to that lowest ground. He then had to interact with the other player, and then all Grove had to do was say, look, they're going at it. I'm just gonna drop down, clean it up. Victory out for them. But listen, man, we still have games to get into. We got to keep on rolling, all right? Next game's got to be on deck, because we still have plenty of games to get through. And don't forget, we have all of NA West after this. That's right. I'm going to perpetuate this joke forever.
Forever.
More big names, though. Ghost, Assault, Innocence. I've not seen Echo L. Wait, okay. This, my mind instantly went to Echolocation. So Echoloking.
I think it's Ecolo King.
Ecolo King. Okay, all right. Ecolo King.
I'm just going to call him King.
Maybe it's like Ecolo-King. Let's just go with King. Let's just go with King. Hey, what's up, King? You know, he's got his...
Because his buddy's K-Dude.
His teammate's name is K-Dude.
Yo, if there's one... I want to see the scrappy adventures of the King and the Dude. You know, it's like a little Big Lebowski.
Yeah. You know, recently, a quickly becoming good friend of mine has taken to saying "dude" a lot. So I have also become doing this in the same.
Did
you know who you are? Dude. You know who you are.
Well, we know who these guys are. Saf and Zayd are going to be in this game, as well as Innocence. Man, so many good players here. It's insane. But we're going to be lingering about Retail Row, Zeke. Retail Row saw a facelift the other day.
Yes, it sure did. Volcano came knocking on Retail's door and said, I'd like to purchase this entire plot of land. Blacktop is no longer. And what stands in its wake instead is a gigantic rock, I guess. Would that be the proper terminology? He's like, you know what came out of it was like a rock? You know, is that right? I feel like that's right.
I definitely smell what you're cooking.
Yeah, you got it. But guys, we're going to keep up with the action here. Look at all these guys. Still a very dense lobby. Don't forget, top 15 is the first round of placement points that can be dished out. So you have to make sure you're trying to survive as long as possible. Now, we're at 21 duos, so another 6 have to go down. Things are going to get crazy.
Yeah. We have a long way to go in this game, even though it's quickly going to become carnage and chaos. With that zone creeping in, you start to see the players begin to transition out, and that's where Saf is going to do the best they can to gatekeep, prevent them from being able to get in. But if you can tag them up, that's more or less what you want there, so you can get some credit for the eliminations. And Saf manages to secure one just there against Huxty, and he knows that there's another player there as well. Then you're going to have Joel, who's down but not out, but might as well will be with the way Joel is positioned.
He's like, no, the wall, no. Yeah, he's above them. I don't think they know he's up there. Otherwise, they might as well confirm that elimination and get the free resources that he potentially has. Now, they might have just heard it going down below. You see Zayd, he moved up, maybe checking above him. He had his little head looking up. Now he's looking around. He said, I don't know where this guy is. I heard him, but it's okay. Now, he's got eyes on this other duo. No! Oh, my.
Okay, so, yeah, we got to break that down real fast, Zeke.
Okay, I just hyperventilated. All right, so he was peeking there with the pyramid. And so if you didn't know, if you have a pyramid above you and you go to edit up straight up, okay, all right. These guys are on another level, double smoke bomb. I'm going to come back to that point in just a moment. I want to see what they decide to do here because they find themselves upgrades. This is huge and more smoke bombs coming out. Now Zayd has one left. And you've got to assume Saf probably has at least one as well. That sniper play, though, very quickly touching on it, he was edit peeking. He waited for the player to get comfortable, and in that moment, abused that peeking there and said, look, I'm going to punish you for thinking you were safe. That is my elimination. Craziness.
The timing that you have to have is just absurd at the high level of professional Fortnite, but Zayd and Saf, two players that have exemplified that, I would say, in every single event that we've seen them in. Such a great team here, but Zayd is going to find peace right in front of him, and he's going to knock him down. That should be confirming in just a little bit so that he can get that siphon and the HP from it. More players are also going to be to the left here of Saf and Zayd as they're just patrolling around, trying to get presence down low, own some of these walls, forces their way right inside. That's going to be Top Gun, who goes down out of the fight, and they will get the siphon credit for that one as well. They confirm the elimination. More players are going to be about here as well. Down low, Saf and Zayd, they're just looking to pick off some of the stragglers, but you got folks that are going to be in the high ground as well, Zeke.
There's still so many players. Take a look. We just right now hit top 15.
It's like a skeet shooter.
Yeah, the action does not stop. Top 10 is the next place in threshold. Look at the ballers down below playing billiards. And now Saf and Zayd need to start navigating their way. They see the players above. Just fracture it. There you go. They're going to come. Oh, one of them had the glide redeploy. The other is now separated. Okay, just kidding. That was an entirely different party. There is so much chaos happening right now, and we still have 19 players.
Forcing their way in there, taking out Imperial. Saf and Zayd are definitely going to be on one here. It gets the siphon, but it does not give him the shields, and he's got to get back in here quickly. Doesn't have any minis to try and use, but has that smoke bomb. Oh, no! Just as he pops the smoke bomb, gets cleaned up, and that is going to be an unfortunate series of events. But Twexy and Simple are going to own the top here and continue to patrol up above.
The skill is unbelievable. To land that shot when they've come through the smoke, remember, they become invisible. You've got to know where they're going to be. That was insane. And now they're going to slide down this mountain as these ballers are just being as annoying as possible right now, making sure they cannot keep their builds up. Assault here needs to find something. 9 players, 6 duos, about to hit top 5. They want these points.
And they have that heavy sniper that they can just crash right on in. It truly is the key that can unlock anything, but got to make sure you play your cards right here. Assault, he's looking around. He sees a player right out there, but he tags him for a little bit. Smoke bomb's going to be used, and that player looking to just get out of dodge. Innocence using that chug jug at this late game. That is huge if he can get this off, and Assault's going to need to do this. Pushes himself right through the wall and just shreds through slacks.
That was insane. And to top it off, they actually got the chug jug off. So both of them sitting on 200 right now. There's another pair of duos still left. We got 6 players left. And, I mean, it's looking really good for them. They even have the smoke bombs as well. They've got the heavy snipe to potentially just punch through a build as they need to. There's a player up above on the other wall. I don't think he saw him. For a moment, he lost track, but Innocence goes down, and he does trade it out. It is King who goes down. That means his partner must be close by. No, I'm sorry. That was a straight elim. His partner has been eliminated as well. It is now a 2v2, but his teammate Innocence is down. This is a 2v1 right now. He cracked 1. He needs to secure this. He needs this siphon. It's so vital right now. Okay, it comes through. Simple versus Ghost Assault. Simple has health advantage, high ground. But this is Assault we're talking about. He just needs a moment, literally a second, and he can turn this entire situation around.
Oh, and pops the slurp there. That is going to be the advantage that Simple will have, because Assault will be sitting at 100 HP, but so will Simple. And Wait a minute, he went outside. He went outside, and it's still ticking, though. He's going to have that advantage. The campfire goes down. He will have the life advantage. It's a heal off, and it's going to go to Simple, unless Assault can pull something out of the hat, but it's not going to happen, and Simple will pick up the victory royale right at that last second there. But that was a good preemptive play using the slurp, and then maybe going out looking for the elimination. Didn't quite find it, but he still had that life lead. And now we're off to the races for yet another game.
Oh, man, continuing with these big names, Spades, Crims, we've already seen go through, TSM's Zexro and Vinny. I mean, this is just going to continue and continue to get better. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. This is the Fortnite World Cup. We're in week 4, online open status time. Top 15, 10, 5 victory hour, all the placement thresholds with each elim being a point. We are in finals, so every single point matters for these players. Just like Sundown says, every interaction could be the difference between qualifying and not. So you're going to see a lot of these players, they're putting literally everything on the line, trying to qualify, trying to make it through to the finals.
So Ritual and his teammate Baldy actually don't really have a lot of resources. They do have ballers. Well, actually, Baldy has the baller, and then that launch pad was dropped so that Ritual can join him on the other side.
Right, exactly. And that's, we see this strategy kind of every now and again, right? Because in case you didn't know, the ballers...
Oh, what a shot there on a Prodigy Aces. Absurd. He lined that one up. He saw it, and he read it like an open book. Well done.
What was that angle? Like, he caught, like, just the littlest... It was like he shot his pinky toe. Like, literally his baby pinky toe.
Squeaky angle.
Oh, my gosh. Shout out to you. TSM Zexro back in the game. We've seen him recently. He had that wrist injury, but he's pushing past it. Back on the scene, and I mean, he's performing extremely well. We'll have to see how him and Vinny can we'll have to see if they can make something happen. Vinny already has 3 elims, so already they've got 3 points, which is huge. They just need to try and hit top 15, try and get those placement points as well.
They find the flimsiness of this build here. They should be able to bring that down, and that is going to be a knock on to Fijex. Another one is well in front. That player trying to defend has to rift to go because doesn't really have much of a choice. And that was just good pressure and a good read, but they're so low, and Lotus knows that, so tries to put that presence on them there as well. But as we go to the eye on the sky, we got Zasma and
Vape
Jesus here.
Yeah, Vape Jesus. You know we all love you, and you know everyone loves you, Vape Jesus. Shout outs to you. Zasma here as well. Now keep in mind, they don't have any elims yet, but just like I always mention this is going to change, right? Especially as these last few circles start to happen. They're looking to catch players on the edge of the storm, just like this, right? Players unsuspecting. You just find eliminations left and right. You just have to be mindful, have really great game sense, and know where to look. And because of that, they have one already. Now, keep in mind, we're going to start moving over into Junction. It's a little bit of weird terrain if the cars weren't farmed.
Yeah.
But it should be fine. It should be fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
You know?
Or maybe not.
We'll see for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and good connection there from Jacob Aki on to Blank. That is going to be the down, and we'll be waiting for that elimination to count here in a little bit as the Storm will claim Blank at the end. And Jacob running by himself, so he ended up losing his teammate. We saw Jacob Aki and Odexnide. They had popped up in the top 10, and some good players as well. Really, we've just been treated to some quality players here throughout the online open qualifiers. Some stinkers too, maybe try and force some people out. I like the use of the stinkers in the late game, and you hear all of these ballers jumping about. There's so many of them. They're going to be left in this one. Also see Reverse 2K in there as well, but there's Vinny and Zexro in that high ground. Jacob Aki looking to go for that high ground control, which he does get, but it will be a question of whether or not he'll be able to maintain this by himself if he gets challenged by 2 players here. 95 blue, but as I mentioned, right, it's like very hard to hold this by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, he feels very confident. You could tell by his play, right? He's being very aggressive, and he even has this rocket launcher if he needs to fall back on it. If I'm him, I just wait this out, right? Of course it's Zexro and Vinny on the high ground, so you're not taking it away from them unless they decide to give it up. There you go, like I was saying. they command the high ground, similar to people like Ghost Bizzle and DMO, right? Once they have high ground, it's very hard to take it back. They're going to drop down on Crims, who gets shut down immediately, and they're just going to allow that. They want to make sure that this Siphon comes through a little bit later on, and the onslaught continues. We just hit top 15. 12 duels remain. FaZe Funk gets cleaned up there, and the onslaught continues. Zazma is cleaned up as well. He was by himself. That was a straight elim. Crims now comes through. Siphon comes through. And it's just it's popping off right now, GB. It's popping off.
He might be able to go and crash right through that door there, but needs to get the reload on his weaponry so that this way he could be in a much better position. The ball ends up getting knocked out, and that was Spen who was inside of the ball, and will be out of the game now. Looking low, you got Ninja in reverse. You also have Spades. I don't see Thresh. I think Thresh got cleaned up in the carnage of it all. Ritual is going to be out of the action as well, and Dyslexic sent all the way up to the top here. His teammate Lanson's going to be in this one too. We'll be after dodging that one and crank those 90s so you can get as far up as possible. We'll have that redeploy as well, so if anything happens, should be able to glide down to safety here, but we're coming down to it, Zeke. We got 7 duos remaining, and Zexro just picked up one on to Dyslexic's teammate Lanson, so he's going to be out of the fight, but Vinny is also going to have to be out of this one as well because of TJ. Nice connection there onto Frantic Heavens from Dyslexic, who continues to own that mid area. You got Pyro Voil, who's all the way up in the ultimate high ground here.
This is crazy. Even though we saw Vinny has gone down, Zekro is still on a spree. He shut down TJFN, and now he's in that mid-ground tarp. We see Pyro's Voil up on the top. He's by himself. I think he just got off a chug jug. He just went all the way back up to 200, still caught in the storm, and it was worth it. Now Zexro is just below on the tarp.
Ninja and Reverse are the only duo that are going to be in this one. They're the only duo left. This is doable for them because they have numbers, and Zexro is in a world of hurt right now, but they just need to work together here. This last remaining duo in this game. Ninja goes out, launch pads up, but he gets back down here, finds one in front. That's going to be Spades. He manages to cap him off on that. Zexro, he comes up from that launch pad that Ninja put down. Reverse is going to be out of this one, and he's going to have health. Ninja's going to have the HP. He goes in for the fight. Oh my God! Dyslexic takes out Ninja. What happened there? Oh, man, that is rough because those 3 points could be the difference.
That was so unbelievably unfortunate. So much happened there. We're going to move on to this game, but I want to just take the briefest moment to talk about everything that happened. Okay, so we saw Zexro. He was in that mid-ground tarp. He overtook the back up on the high ground tarp. Unfortunately, traded out a ton of HP for it. So he was sitting high above everyone else. He was in critical, though. Then Reverse and Ninja were down below. They crack one player. One player trades out Reverse, and now it's up to Ninja by himself. Zexro dove down, tried to hit the launch pad. He did, but then it's like, well, the storm is too tiny. You're just going to take storm damage. He ends up falling because of it. Unfortunately, Ninja could not convert that over, but still very well played.
He had the life lead.
Yes, he did. He did.
So, I mean,
it must have been maybe he just missed the initial shot because he did have advantage. Like Reverse had gone down, and at that point you're probably okay. If their comms are good, you know they're saying, "Hey, I'm down. He's here," right? So if that's what's happened, Ninja knows exactly where he's going to be.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, maybe someone like Sundown can break that down for us, or whoever's going to be the analyst in the next bit. But now we're on to the next games because we got
to move on.
Yeah, we just got to keep rolling.
And it's crazy that we're moving on into a game that just concluded with Ninja and Reverse 2K. And now we're going to talk about Tfue and Cloak, who are doing what they do best. Again, slow and steady has been their style, and it works out very well for them. They talk well with one another. The communication, it's kind of like I remember watching duo Fortnite early on, right? When some of our first duo competitions in competitive Fortnite, and really enjoying like the comms between these two players. And I think it's really just kind of shaped the way that a lot of players communicate in competitive Fortnite when it comes to this duo format.
So what's interesting is that's good comms and bad comms can really shape the entire way you play games, right? If you're not good on comms, that's
I can tell you, when I used to
compete
compete back in the day, one of the things I would always tell my teammates would be, hey, listen, I don't want to hear any complaints. I just want to hear call-outs. That's all I care about. Keep that side chatter for after the game because it doesn't help us mid-game. I think a lot of these players, when I hear when I listen to Dubs and Mega, I actually watch like a few videos of them playing, and you can just hear it, right? Young players, by the way, but you can hear like how they're just constantly like, oh, he's here, go for this player there. They're calling out the skins, they're calling out the players if they recognize it. Like, it's just good gameplay. It's as simple as that, right? It's good, clean, effective gameplay. But onwards here, though, I mean, that's why I personally love duos. I think duos is just the absolute best.
Right. It's very fun. I still have quite a bit of work on my call-outs that I need to make, but I try to keep it as minimal as possible, right? Like, every time I tag someone like, hey, 76 or white damage or blue or 25 on shield, you know, things like that. Comms, very, very important. If you're looking to level up your gameplay, work on your comms. Find someone you pair very well with and just communicate. And now Zealous is going to keep it up here. Green is already down. Up on top again, Tfue and Cloak, even after this rotation, still commanding high ground.
And everyone has gained themselves a placement point here. Very vital as we get to the end of the NA East queue times. For Zealous, that is pretty big because no eliminations, and a player's going to drop right in front of him. The edit window out. Owns that wall there. Very well done by Zealous. It was a little jumpy from time to time, but was able to confirm it, pick it up, and off to the races they go with just one elimination. But the placement points now, that has to feel pretty good there.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you know, this is top 3,000. This is the top 1,500 duos in their respective region. If you don't own a wall, you cannot make that mistake. You have to make sure and try to replace it. You like, if you don't, I promise you're going to get edited on every single time, and that's exactly what we saw happen there. Now, Tfue and Cloak going to continue to maintain the high ground. I'm curious if they're going to stop and farm the tree. Oh, I love this. So you saw him 180. That's probably because Cloak was saying, there's a guy on me behind you, and you saw him whip around immediately. They force that player down, and they just continue. Again, good comms. You can tell by the way they are moving, how they react to each other. This is so sick. I'm freaking nerding out over here. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, they have a lot to work with as well. So, as far as match goes, you know, it could be better, but they will have that rift to go in the off case that things do go south very quickly. They just need to continue to communicate effectively here. All these duos really at this point in time, but I think a lot of players are concerned about who is going to be manning that high ground. Tfue gets tagged up just a tad, and there you have it. So that rift to go is going to be used because Tfue did not have the mats and did not want to spend them. Want to try and save that, get to your teammate, because they were split up for the time being. 89 blue on that connection with that epic pump. Finds that player through the sky. I say it, I love saying it. It's like a skeet shoot, right? Little duck hunt there. Craziness indeed. But Tfue and Cloak continuing to do such a brilliant job of making their way up the high ground. And Zealous goes right into it there with Cloak, and that is crazy. I didn't see who ended up coming up on top there in the elimination feed, and Draxor is going to be caught outside, needs to get in, and so no, Draxor is going to be out of it, but that means now we're going to be in top 10 territory, and because of that elimination, Zealous got the better of Cloak. So Tfue's, they actually split up. I apologize. Cloak got out of that fight, so he managed to stay up in this.
Yeah, somehow he got out, and he's still in critical condition. Tfue sitting on 200, but these guys can do it. You saw what they're able to do. Outlit is up on that high ground just above them. Fate trying to face off against Young Calculator. Look at all these players still tightly packed together. Tfue's dropping down. Cloak again dropped to critical. He needs to convert on something. He desperately needs a siphon. We're coming down the wire. Look, Outlet all the way in the bottom going against Sun Villa. He's so dangerously low. But look who else is here. Lyrison and Sketch G. Look at Tfue again. These guys are getting traded. Calculator is right now calculating with these, the stink bombs. Is Tfue going to go down? No, he's okay. Yeah, that was really scary.
He's okay, but it is a very fragile situation for Tfue because he doesn't have anything to heal himself up with, and even then won't have any time. The good news for Tfue, will have the 100 shield, so can work with that. Young Calculator, though, is putting a lot of pressure onto the FaZe boys, and Calculator's trying to just win this out, but they're going to fall down. And I can't believe that they managed to stay in this one. Young Calculator, 2 + 2 = you lose, and you got Tfue and Cloak still in this one. Outlet goes down. Credit to him for lasting as long as he could. Lyrison and Sketch are still going to be in this one against the FaZe boys. Cloak and Tfue, they're going to have that high ground control, but the life lead firmly on the side of Lyrison and Sketch, and if they keep playing this, they will manage to get the victory royale. Cloak and Tfue need to make a move. They have to figure out what they want to do. Of course, they don't know what that life lead is currently looking like, but they're going to drop down. Lyrison goes down, and the victory royale goes to Tfue and Cloak. 8 eliminations from my boy from Jersey. Way to go there for FaZe Clan. They pick up the dub.
Bro, that was so sick. In every sense of the word, the other team had every advantage, and they said, you know what? Let's just full send it. Monster, was that not the sickest thing you've seen?
That right there was crazy, guys. Just the comms. We talk about communication. At the same exact time, Tfue Cloak dropped down from 2 different angles, and then, more importantly, both connect right there. Those are the kind of plays we like to see here at the Fortnite World Cup weekend qualifiers. Sundown, I know you got some stuff backed up for us, too, as far as this gameplay and stuff goes.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I mean, we talk about how every single point matters, every single interaction matters. I mean, we're going to watch the replay here real quick. Just watch it in real time as it's going down. You see Tfue gets just ahead enough, but is also out of build. So pops his mini, takes a storm tick there. Now, as he opts to go down, has the glider redeploy. Look how late he waits. Cloak also goes down, and they go down on either side of it. So then Sketch is forced to cover over the top as Tfue pushes around from the side that they didn't have walled off. Brilliantly done there. Great execution from the duo. And I mean, we talk about the hours of practice, how you have to be able to bang that out. They've been in that situation before. They can pincer the opponents. Let's take a look at some other players who have been in this situation and have been executing. We're going to kick it off first with Grove, just working his way top down from the high ground. I mean, catching Chap off guard here. And also, notice Scientist HP down there. Super low. Grove basically has to do this single-handedly, but gets a ton of white damage. And you notice he's persistent. The second he gets tags on someone, he's following them, he knows their location, and then he gets enough to be able to work his way down. But still, limited builds, working from the top-down position, is able to drop down into the fray on the low ground, pick up a clutch elim there for the victory royale on to Cryptic. Now another player, clutch on the low ground assault. You see Innocence is popping that Chug Jug. He needs to make room because Slacks is nearby. You can hear the Chug Jug from a mile away. So Assault pushes through to do that. And again, in this close quarters, being able to execute is so huge as Innocence goes down. Picks up Ecolo King with the tag and the storm conversion, and then right here in such close quarters situation, able to get the siphon, not quite able to ride it out for the victory royale, but still very good low ground execution coming out. Just a nice snipe. I mean, this is awareness. We talk about the pace of the game and how fast it can end. Prodigy Ace's run ends there, and I mean, Zeke called them out saying he's back with a vengeance. Zexro and Vinny. I mean, this is like TwitchCon reunion right now. Zexro and Vinny popping off, Funk Bomb and Nate Hill popping off, Tfue and Cloaksy popping off, and you can see him just working top down, picks up Zazwa, picks up Crims as well. It's not like he's doing this against nobody. These are players who have been up there. Crims already qualifying in for that duos portion last week, and Zexro just so fast, so good with it, able to punish the player right there. And I mean, that's what it takes to be the best. Now, we're gonna hop on board with somebody who knows a little bit about being the best. Great flick shot onto X there, and see how they run the high ground out with such limited amount of builds. We saw Cloaksy's perspective from this time as well, and he just didn't have anything. They're working around, looking for opportunities. They got split for a little bit, and then we're able to work back over towards the side of the temple and continue the aggression forward, catching Owl off guard there, and then getting just a couple more builds. 10 builds, but that's enough for Tfue to make plays and to make room for himself. Now, you see him 68 points, pickup calculator to get to 69. That's what he was at last week for solos, and here was the clutch play that we saw. Getting enough room to pop those minis off. Didn't need that second one, but it's fine. Same effective HP. As soon as their builds get dropped down, both of them are ready. You can see him switch to the pumps before the knockdown even happens. Redeploy goes out, execute, clean it up. Tfue and Cloaksy, you need to do that if you want to qualify as a duos. That's going to be everything you have to do. And also, queues are now closed. We're at that 7 p.m. time. It's good. It's done. Those last matches will still be able to play out. So if you're in a game, if you're on the island, if it's launched, you're all set. Otherwise, your 3 hours and 10 matches are over.
What a day and age we live in where you get to see your favorite competitors go toe-to-toe. Like, even earlier today, just to see Ninja in the end game. We're Reverse 2K in multiple end games here. Tfue doing it once again, showing why he's up there. But with that, guys, we have more standings. Let's go on and catch up to our other regions that have been going on here.
We got NAEs first.
Oh, we
so
have NAEs first.
We'll take the look in because we got the wrap up. So Zate and Saf up there, 97 points. Able to wrap that one out. So we don't know who is in game on here. You can check it out live in client. If you set your region to NAEs, you have a flashing red bar. But like we said, top 3. So again, Sizzlucky and Brush have pushed a little bit clear of that. However, the battle for the 3rd spot, Cease and Elevate holding it right now at 75 points. Tfue and Cloaksy at 74. The RBK boys at 73. The Ghost boys, Innocent and Assault at 73. Fuzzy and Hogman at 73. Aircool and Cadet at 72. Poach and Chap at 71. Forward GG and Forward GG. I mean, that's impressive. You guys both got that in there, so I'm assuming some special characters. But, I mean, 71, and it's just on the other side of this, there's still players, like we said, about, I'd say 16 points is a reasonable striking distance. As Victory Real, 6 elims or 9 elims, and in that top 5, all very doable. There's still about 30 teams in the running if they're able to get in that last match for that 3rd place spot. But NA East isn't the only region we had going on. Do have Brazil that also wrapped on up, and you can see Zeko and Santi Dead able to take that top spot, the duo coming out of Argentina. And you do see that little orange mark indicating qualification. There was no qualification in this spot for Brazil. PF Zen and Nyx qualifying from week 2, but Zeko, somebody we've seen a lot of. And also shout out History and Fa, some players we've seen at the Katowice Royale. But I mean, the Argentinians as well, playing with a little bit farther distance from the Brazil server. Anytime they pop up there, got to give them the shout out. And Zeko in particular has been very consistent.
Absolutely, well deserved. And to think, you see players that have already qualified time in and time out all these weekends, making it back on these boards. That's respect right there. But with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a little chill moment right here and go to break with a couple minutes. So if you need to catch a breather like we do, we'll be right back with more games when we return.
Fortnite fam, welcome back. We are here with the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. I'm Zeke, aka Captain Shenanigans. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we do. All right, I take over the broadcast and crazy things happen. Now we are so excited to get back into games. We're just gonna get right back into it. I need Sundown. I need Monster D. Gentlemen, please join me here, babies. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.
Bye, Zeke. Thank you so much for that toss in. Yes, I mean, I'm ready to go. The matches are exciting immediately. As soon as we went to the break, I went back, checked the leaderboard, checked who was in live game, pulled up streams. I mean, let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Let's go ahead and keep up the momentum here with NA East because these games have been popping off. Not only that, like Europe was crazy, right? We haven't had a lull time today. It has been absolutely mad here on the board. So now hopping into LA East, back with XB. We had him earlier. We saw Funky Savage. We've seen these guys making it to endgame. What do you think about that leaderboard, though? It's talking about how the standings are breaking up the game right now.
Oh, I mean, it's so absurdly close. That battle for that third place spot, I mean, the top two have sort of separated themselves.
Points,
I mean, might be clear enough to be good in terms of pushing above. However, we've seen big pop-off games. We've seen 20-plus games right at the end, particularly in Europe, as XP wants to push through for the Siphon, but is also just pushing into his own stink. Took so much of his own damage there, and now needs to be careful of that partner trying to cover. Here, the trap arm from above. Funky Savage picks up lemons there. That was the conversion. Siphon came out, but is that worth? I don't. I mean, I'll take every
It's a
point.
point. I was gonna say, yeah. That's the justifier right there. You don't ever want them to pop a revive, but to be fair, he should not have led that push. But with that, they get themselves a little point. Let's go and hop over to Triz and Clarity, another player. We've seen these guys making end games. We've seen them on the board on some qualifier days, not quite on finals, right? They just kind of got to push through, get over that last hump. But nice loadout, heavy sniper.
It's incredibly difficult to be the one at the top of the leaderboard on Sunday. That's why when we keep seeing these repeat names up there, we're stressing how big of an accomplishment that truly is, as this fifth circle is now closing. The rotations are coming out. 22 duos remaining, 42 players remaining, so only 2 solo riders out there. Everyone else has their battle buddy with them.
That's actually really interesting to note. I don't think it's you get to see that very often. Duos making it all the way through to the end here. But it's Triz and Claire. They're going to lay down some shots while on a rotation, so pretty aggressive, looking to get some attention on them. There's players all around them. As the Shadow Bomb comes out, he's out.
Yeah, crossing that no man's land through the middle is incredibly difficult, but the Shadow Bomb giving you a little bit of that versatility, a little bit of mobility. That's why these players have valued it so much. Really interested to see how kind of it furthers the meta and how they're able to push the development. Heavy Snipe comes through, is able to get some shots through that wall, but was immediately replaced. Clarity now probably going to look to pressure, but also wants to reset. Zone closing in 5 seconds. So after that, we'll see where the players are going to be forced to move in a lot of variable vertical terrain as we're going up the mountain, Monster.
Yep, and I said it before, it's all about these new items. They're coming into play heavy. The Flint Knock, a great introduction of Fortnite, and this Shadow Bomb, another just really interesting development as far as the item goes on the scene right now. So I'm very happy to see how things continue to shake out. Got a little bit of Hogman and Fuzzy over here. You have Animal and Aspect, who have also been having a fairly okay day today. They've been popping off. They're not too far from being up there and punching their way through. Now looking at Snood, and I'm not sure if I know who this barcode is, but Snood's in it.
Probably Thryfo, considering that's Snood's typical duo. Haven't seen him up there as well, so that would be my initial guess. And also, 8 Boogie Bombs.
Oh my gosh.
8 Boogie Bombs? I mean,
did you know you can hold 8?
I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the max count size. It might go up to 10, but I'm not sure the last time I saw somebody carry 8. And the funny thing is, too, he can just chain them then. Theoretically, he could keep people dancing for upwards of 20 seconds with that.
Which is insane, by the way. But just like that, you see the Boogie get its worth, right? You got that little knock right there. That's going to put him back in 100 HP as he is rotating across. And we talked about Animal and Sentinel boys. They're up in the high ground here.
Rush, it's his lucky on the mid-ground target. As well, you have the Wombo Sports duo of Jack and Dimes on the low ground right now, all the way up on ultimate high ground. It's not Instinctual in Jesus Christ or Funky Savage. It's the RBK duo of J-Love and Germ controlling that high ground as we rotate back over Old Man Mountain. Aspect and Animal on the backside as now we're going down, which is going to force potentially movement from J-Love and Germ. And now we're going to hop on board with Brush and Sizlucky, the duo who was in second place, as we saw, needs to continue to keep pushing up there.
Yeah, second place is very, very, very pressure, right? Or a lot of pressure, I should say. There's a lot of pressure being in second place right now, the pressure to perform. But Brush and, oh my gosh, Brush and Sis have been doing it all day. They're actually going to catch Clarity here with a huge pump shotgun shot. They catch the jump on the wall too right there. It's a nice little easy edit for them. As they manage to find themselves another point there.
Yeah, great work as we get closer to that first placement threshold. Don't forget top 15, top 10, top 5 as those placement barriers for +3, +2, +2 points. Victor Royale gets an additional 3 for 10 total cumulative, and then each elim is worth 1. And there's so many of the top 10 who were in this game. Again, don't forget, not quite live. We're grabbing the server replays, grabbing those highest point games, the one on the leaderboards, the one that had the impact and end up deciding who goes to New York as Hogman ends up pushing into the box. Trap gets armed on the other side, immediately closes the box off, edits off, and sends Nosh back to lobby. Brilliant from Hogman. Also puts him into that top 15 as Jelty takes down Jack.
That was so great. The discipline to not fire at the ramp when the trap was put down, because you don't want to be in in the poison dart range, and then just exit out the side, take the wall, swift edit. The aggression right there, very nicely done. Big play for him. Now take a look at the congestion here. We have Aspect and Animal who are looking to push through and punch their way here. Nice little hold here. What are they, on the mid-ground-ish, kind of lower or closer to the high spot, though. They do already have 6 eliminations, so that's a lot of points right there. It looks like Tweakbo, if that was him, did go down right there. And now it's another little push right here. Tries to hit him with a nice little trap door. Animal doesn't quite connect, though.
And we're into the top 10 now. 9 duos remaining as Gunblast does get dropped. We'll see if this duo opts to go down instead. Lal Sampa trying to just put shots from the high ground, but Aspect and Animal capitalizing there as they move to 8 elims. Germ and J-Love still controlling this high ground and is starting to pay off as Wellspar gets taken down. You have Hogman in the top right of your screen on the mid-ground tarp. You have Aspect in the bottom right of your screen on the low ground. Germ and J-Love on the left-hand side, top to bottom. Stucky as well. Triz in there. Jelty from Mexico on that bottom floor with Brush, as well as Stucky gets trapped between the RBK boys. No, Germ goes down. Not going to get the point from that, but does get the conversion as the trap fires a second time. Hogman and Fuzzy all of a sudden in great position to take this one out as J-Love is forced to try and pressure him down, but Animal knocks down Brush and takes him out, capitalizing there. Hogman gets knocked, but J-Love falls all the way down. He's going to get self-eliminated and doesn't get the conversion
so does Fuzzy.
over.
Fuzzy comes down, go toe-to-toe with Send Animal at the end here. What's Animal going to do? He looks for the edit. Does he know? Fuzzy is now somehow on the low ground. This shotgun trade goes out. He doesn't quite connect. Fuzzy is all the way at the bottom layer here. Animal knows he has a health lead just off of all the tick that's happened so far. And now it's time to fully commit here for the shotgun. Animal connects to Fuzzy and takes that victory royale. That was Fuzzy and Hogman's game, especially after German Love went down in the high ground.
And you can literally see the point counter go up rather than Fuzzy getting those 2 elims and picking it up and getting the victory out and jumping up to 74 points. Animal and Aspect rack off a 21-point victory royale to get through to that and jump up to 69, putting them in striking distance of one of those spots. I mean, like we said, 75 was that 3rd place barrier. Top 3 go to New York City. That's what you're gonna want to end at when all is said and done. You're looking at 735 for when the leaderboard is officially finalized and that goes through. So we're hitting it. We're getting towards the end as Circle 5 finally shows itself just to the east of Happy Hamlet.
Yeah, Happy Hamlet is not a bad place to be around. It could be worse if you're in that Polar Peak section. So you can see here the terrain is relatively okay as far as the holds go. And you see Nate Hill and Funk Bomber in this game taking over. Over here we have Nosh and Chaotic. And this is it. Bases are formed up. It seems to be somewhat of a smaller lobby, though, right? You have to balance the amount of games that you have available. You see it done a lot on NA East and West. Players will try their best to basically W key. Games push players aggressively, and that will kind of force a lower population in some of these end games.
Yeah, particularly in lobbies with about maybe a half hour to 15 minutes left. You can see a lot kind of sparser end games than you're usually used to. Typically players are all over each other at this point in time, but it makes for slightly different gameplay because there's a lot more rifle angles and also a lot less of these excess buildings to tuck in. You're generally more aware of where players are, but then you also end up with some just like out in the open rotation, like this. Gosh, just walking out in the open and picking up Hornet, and he has used no utility. He simply just, they say you don't walk it right on in, and Nosh did, man. He could have flown, but instead, no problem there. We're hopping on over to Symphony and Branchies.
Probably to blame for that suppressed rifle, right? Like having that just low profile. No one knows he's firing at players. But Symphony, with the loud AR here, takes out a player there. That's going to be a nice drop right there. Symphony is on darn near 10 elims because there's a knocked player down there. Branchies has 2. He's looking for it. He doesn't want to give up this revive right now.
No, he hears it going off. Should know the player's on that side of the wall. The player should stick to get the commit. Does get the one wall replaced.
Oh, he knows.
He knows that player's there. He wants to try and get both of these now, as that 30 HP player is going to be forced back down again by the storm. Didn't look like he got a tag, so no credit. Oh no, he did get a credit.
Even if the storm takes him, he just finished him off
because he had gotten the tag when it ended up coming through. That's correct. Then you have tickers over on the side there, chaotic, putting the RPGs down from the high ground, and then Funk and Nate directly below him.
Yeah, this is a tight spot to be in for Funk and Nate. This is actually where you want to be, especially since they are on a decent side as far as the zone goes. It could be a lot worse. Out comes the early launch pad. We talk about how players tend to wait till last minute to pop the launch pad, but being, playing it by the book isn't always the play.